Our first and most powerful factor is the one you miss the most: light. Not just any light, but the specific, bright, blue wavelength-rich light of a high sun. This light is a direct biological command. It enters your eyes and strikes a tiny master clock in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This is your circadian rhythm's headquarters. When it gets a strong morning light signal, it issues a clear, cascading order to your entire body. It is day. Be awake, alert, and active. It suppresses the sleep hormone, melatonin, and boosts hormones for wakefulness. But in winter, the command weakens. The days are short. The sun is low, its light diluted and often hidden by cloud. Your brain's headquarters gets a feeble, confused signal. The result: the alert order is never fully given. Your pineal gland, getting no clear directive to stop, starts producing melatonin earlier in the day and in greater quantities. It's the chemical equivalent of a permanent, gentle dusk settling over your biology. Simultaneously, the raw material for melatonin, serotonin, a key mood and energy regulator, can become depleted. You are left in a low-light trap, awash in sleep hormones, potentially starved of feel-good ones. This is the fundamental biochemical reason winter makes you want to crawl back into bed at 4 p.m. The second powerful force shaping your winter body is one you can feel on your skin: temperature. Your body is a marvel of thermoregulation, constantly burning fuel to maintain a vital core temperature around 37 degrees Celsius, 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. In summer, this is relatively easy, but in winter, you are under constant thermal siege. The moment you step outside, or even sit by a drafty window, your system kicks into a more demanding mode. This triggers a profound metabolic shift. Your brain receives a clear signal from your nervous system: conserve energy, prioritize heat. In response, two major things happen. First, your appetite is strategically rewired. You will find yourself craving calorie-dense, high carbohydrate, and fatty foods. This isn't a lack of willpower. It's an ancient, intelligent drive to build up insulating fat stores and stockpile quick-burning fuel for heat production. Your body is preparing for a season it perceives as potentially scarce. Second, your available energy is redirected. A significant portion of your caloric burn is diverted inward, away from peripheral muscles and outward activity, and toward the constant, unseen work of keeping your heart, lungs, and brain warm. This internal furnace is a priority. The result is that less energy feels available for everything else: for exercise, for brisk movement, even for vigorous thought. That pervasive feeling of sluggishness is, in part, your body rationally allocating its resources to the essential task of survival in the cold. You're not being lazy, you're on internal heating duty. Now, let's step outside and look at the world itself. The third factor isn't a chemical or a temperature, but a sensory environment. Winter fundamentally changes the geography you inhabit, and your brain is deeply attuned to the map. Compare the seasons. Summer is a sensory symphony, a cacophony of vibrant green leaves, a color proven to lower stress, bustling insect life, bright flowers, long shadows, and the constant visual noise of growth and activity. This environment is neurologically stimulating. It promotes alertness, outward focus, and engagement. Winter, in stark contrast, is an exercise in sensory minimalism. The landscape simplifies to a monochrome palette: barren brown branches, gray skies, white snow. The auditory world muffles. The visual complexity collapses. This isn't an aesthetic judgment. It's a psychological shift. Your brain thrives on novel stimuli. The rich, complex input of summer keeps your cognitive engines humming at a higher idle, promoting exploration and energy expenditure. The winter landscape, however, provides far less visual and auditory data to process. This leads to a natural lowering of cognitive arousal. The effect is a gentle, pervasive invitation inward. With less external stimulation to capture your attention, your mind turns more easily to reflection, rest, and internal states. The world isn't pulling you out into it. It's mirroring a quieter, more contemplative mode of being. This sensory deprivation isn't boring your brain to sleep. It's calmly dialing down the volume, encouraging the conservation of mental energy, just as the cold encourages the conservation of physical energy. The fourth factor influencing your winter state is invisible, but you can feel its weight. Atmospheric pressure. Weather is geography in motion, and winter is dominated by powerful low-pressure systems, the swirling engines of storms, snow, and overcast skies. Scientifically, a low-pressure zone means the column of air above you literally weighs less, exerting less force on your body. This has two direct physiological effects. First, it causes a subtle but measurable reduction in air density. While the oxygen percentage stays the same, there are fewer oxygen molecules in each breath you take. Your cardiovascular system has to work slightly harder to oxygenate your blood, a quiet, background strain that can contribute to an overall sense of fatigue. Second, and more palpably, the lower external air pressure allows the fluids and gases within your body to expand slightly. For joints sensitive to inflammation or for sinus cavities, this can mean increased pressure and discomfort. It can also influence circulation, potentially leading to that feeling of heaviness in the limbs. The collective body response to these atmospheric changes is profound. You may feel a deep, physical lethargy, as if moving through something thicker than air. Aches and pains can feel more pronounced. This isn't just in your head. It's a biomechanical reality. Your body is literally responding to a lighter atmospheric push from the outside by feeling the internal pressure more acutely. This physical heaviness perfectly reinforces the chemical and thermal signals for conservation, creating a powerful, multisensory argument from your environment to slow down, rest, and stay sheltered. We've covered the immediate environmental factors: light, cold, landscape, and air pressure. But there is a fifth, deeper layer beneath them all, a rhythm written into our very biology. This is the ancestral rhythm. For hundreds of thousands of years, before electric light and global supply chains, winter was not a theme. It was a brutal, existential constraint. For our ancestors, it meant scarce food, dangerous cold, and long dark nights. Activity was not just difficult, it was a risk. Caloric expenditure had to be meticulously conserved. This wasn't a preference, it was a matter of survival. While humans never developed true hibernation, we evolved a powerful, seasonally tuned physiology geared toward conservation. The propensity for increased sleep, reduced spontaneous activity, cravings for energy-dense food, and a more inward, reflective state would have been powerful adaptive advantages. These traits conserved precious energy and increased the odds of surviving to see the spring. Your modern winter fatigue is the evolutionary echo of this ancient survival program. When you feel the overwhelming urge to rest, to hibernate, you are not being weak or unproductive by modern standards. You are feeling the ghost of a deeply intelligent, ancient imperative. Your body is not broken, it is remembering. It is running a primordial software update that says, the environment is harsh, preserve the core, slow the metabolism, prioritize rest over reckless expenditure. This biological memory, layered atop all the other factors, is why the winter slowdown feels so fundamental, so innate. It is your inner geographer reading the oldest map of all. So, let's map the territory we've covered. You are not just tired, you are a landscape responding to a changed geography. Your body is under the influence of weak light, triggering a melatonin tide. Cold temperature diverting energy to a metabolic furnace. A monochrome color palette lowering sensory arousal. Heavy atmospheric pressure weighing on your limbs, and a deep ancestral rhythm echoing a primal need to conserve. This is the crucial reframe. Winter fatigue is not a personal failing or a disorder to fight. It is a natural, intelligent, biogeographical phenomenon happening within you. You are not being lazy, you are in seasonal sync. Your body is correctly reading the environmental cues of scarcity, cold, and darkness, and responding with a brilliant, ancient program of preservation. The goal, then, is not to wage war against this rhythm with sheer willpower and stimulants, but to find harmony with it. Work with your winter body. Seek out morning light to give your circadian rhythm its clearest possible signal. Embrace the craving for rest without guilt. See it as necessary maintenance, not lost productivity. Listen to the call for nourishing food. You are not separate from nature. You are a part of its cycle, its ebb and flow written in your hormones, your metabolism, and your mind. Observing this in yourself is the first step to living more gracefully within it. If this shift in perspective, seeing your own life through the lens of geography, biology, and rhythm resonates with you, then you understand what we do here. Subscribe to this channel, because here, we don't just look at maps. We explore the fascinating, living geography of the human experience. Thanks for watching.